Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the HT-Box Community Stand-Up for the AllReady project. Today it's April 16th. The year is flying by. We've got some exciting announcements and developments that we talked about in recent weeks here. Maybe I could just ask Jim if you could give us a quick update as to where we're at and where we're going for the project and how it's being used.
Sure. So last time we got together, we announced that we have an opportunity to deploy already in a real circumstance. So in the Red Cross region in Seattle, they have an event coming up on June 11th in which they're going to be out in their community, basically talking about preparedness activities, and allowing people to sign up for to receive personal alarm requests. So that event it seems like it's far away, June and summertime, but it's actually less than 2 months from now. And so the goal for us is to take a website that we've built called getasmokealarm.org, allow people to make requests for installations through that site, take the data, move it into AllReady, and then use the AllReady application to do the service delivery. So Tony and I have worked together to kind of start to sketch up what that looks like, how we build, how we grab the data, how we put it into itineraries, make it accessible to volunteers. We're looking at probably 1,250 to 1,500 requests that are going to try to be managed, and so this is an opportunity for us to really put this thing to work and do it in Microsoft's backyard, which is where this project started. Just less than a year ago. So a really good opportunity for us to put working software in volunteers' hands and see how this thing works.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim. And Tony, I know that you've been hard at work, especially last couple of days here, getting things up to speed on the repository. I'm going to share my screen, and it's actually not going to let me share my screen, but
I can try sharing mine.
Yeah, sure. Maybe we'll do that. It's not picking up any screens on me here, so maybe we'll let you share as you walk through those issues.
I assume you have a monitor, though. Okay. So let's see if you can see mine.
We can.
Okay, so first thing I'll point everyone to, and I put a link in there, is we have a big blog post from Jim and I that talks about where we've been, thanking everybody for the contributions and some of the details, if you will, behind what Jim was just saying in terms of where we're going. So we talk about what's the next step, what are the key sort of aspects of what we're doing there, and there's all kinds of links. And our big call to action is getting people to contribute. We're focusing on also getting in UI and UX folks. And frankly, we've got a lot of work to do, and as Jim said, it's just starting to warm up here in Chicago, so it doesn't quite seem like summer yet, but June 11th is only a couple of months away, so also looking for people to find additional contributors and folks to help out in the project. So got a link, but it's up on our blog on the website.
And then as you pop over to GitHub there, there's been a resurgence here in the last couple of weeks. We've seen a lot of people contributing, new contributors, lots of commits, lots of pull requests coming in.
Yeah, we've actually had, we've got a good set of a number of issues, a lot of stuff that's been merged in, a whole bunch of issues that are closed in that, so we definitely have a lot of activity, as you said. So what we've been doing is we've been decomposing, which is a funny thing to say, but we've been decomposing the requirements and the issues, breaking them into exactly what we think we need for this release, and then putting them in here, and in particular, if you filter by milestone, we have a Go Live feature complete. To put the link in the window as well. And that will filter in the milestone that is specific for the things we need to do for this next release. And the way we've been structuring them, I won't go through all of them, but just as an example, is the way we've been structuring them is we've got a requirements doc that you can get out of the repository. But what we've been doing, for example, here's a sort of a requirement. We've been breaking out the requirement, discussing it, and then we have sub-issues for each of the items inside of there. So, for example, we want to sort of feature a campaign and do some other stuff, and here's the sub-issue that specifically talks about how we want to feature the campaign on the homepage. So this allows us to kind of group stuff so people can see how it fits together, jump on an individual issue, and then either do a pull request for that individual issue, or even potentially these sub-issues may have multiple items inside there. So we've really got right now about 3 meta issues or requirements. We've got around sort of featuring stuff on the homepage and a few other items. We've got the ability to register folks for this itinerary type, which also has some name changes and such behind it. And then we've got a third one, which is around pulling in the requests, as Jim was talking about, and how we're going to manage that. And we're partnering up with that project. And there's actually a few more of them that we'll be publishing in here. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity, a lot of issues you could jump in on, and we've been labeling them with the priority 1, 2, and 3 so people can see what are absolutely key and the first ones to hit. And I just adore these little 0 out of 4 checkbox type items that GitHub does here, so we can see progress even on some of the subtasks.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so if somebody wanted to jump in and see the overarching ones, that's probably a good way to do it, to find those umbrella ones, is to look for the 0s of 4 and the 0s of 5.
And we tag them as requirement, and made a little change to the README so we can see some info on this and see the exact milestone to go to as well at the root of the project.
Wonderful. Maybe what we can also do here is create, under this upcoming Go Live release, I'll do this right after the call. I'll find the major umbrella points, the umbrella issues, and put them right there.
Excellent.
Okay, excellent. So from my perspective on a technical note, what I'm going to be tackling here in the next week or so will be the automated, or the process of automating the incoming requests from getasmokealarm.org. And also we have a tokenized feature, or a feature of tokenization for single-use tokens that can be used to accept when you get an email, when you get a text, we're going to have a link there that has a token in it that's for single use. It doesn't sign you in, but it lets you say, yeah, I confirm, I understand that this has moved from 4 to 6 p.m., and I'm still going to be there, and just say yes in a single click. So you don't have to go to the website on your phone and then sign in and then navigate to the event and then click on the accept. We're just going to have a notification that actually just includes the link for you so that you can go in and accept it. So I'm going to be trying to carve that out as well. That's an overarching thing that's going to be used throughout the project and hopefully on other projects as well for Humanitarian Toolbox. So we've got some feedback from the Microsoft ASP.NET team on how to implement that and how to generate those tokens. So that's some good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and start mapping out that feature as well, and that'll actually spin off some other initiatives as well and help enrich some of the features that are already defined out there.
And that reminded me, from a tech point of view, it's good to reiterate to everybody, we've got database issues. It sounds funny to say we have all these issues, but what I mean is we've got needs and requirements around the database, around the back end, around different architectural patterns, the front end, UI, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, across all of that. So we've really got a wide swath of technology here that people can contribute to.
Absolutely, all kinds of things in the mix for people to pick up, and there's heavy lifting things, but there's also some lighter lifting things as well, right, Tony?
Yep, yeah, and we label a lot of those with jump in, and we'll get more of those. We've got unit test opportunities. Just pull it down and fix something on the UI that's the wrong color. So definitely any size contribution, as well as hopefully folks can see in the issue discussions and pull requests. Our goal is to kind of get the broadest audience of folks working on these projects so they can both gain the experience and show their skills. So we're always trying to be sort of very inviting and helping. And, you know, a lot of the folks, frankly, it's the first pull request they've ever made or the first time they've ever contributed. So we've done a good job, I think, of really helping people get on top of open source if they haven't done it before.
Making it easy to contribute. So we do have we've got to get started in our wiki on how to do that. I know that Mike and Dave, who are regular contributors to the project, they've also got some great posts on how they got started. One of them more dealing with how to approach things from a social perspective in terms of some etiquette things and whatnot. The other one with a really detailed post on here's how you're going to go through things, here's how you're going to rebase, here's how you're going to regenerate your migrations. And so some great posts there from the community members who are already contributing.
Yep, excellent.
Great. Anything else you want to add, Jim, before we...
Yeah, a couple things real quick. Just wanted to note that I had an opportunity to speak in London about this project last week and give a shout out to Steve Gordon. And so got a big laugh when we were able to tell them that we had grids who were actually building American Red Cross software. The other thing I'll add is that our national headquarters, our American Red Cross, is starting to take a really close look at this project. I think they start to see this as an opportunity for them to consider different ways of developing software. So just letting you know that there's an audience out there who is looking at how this thing is evolving, and so we'll want to make sure that we're kind of keeping them informed about how this is going, because this could be something that could grow larger than what we're just trying to do in Seattle and Chicago.
Excellent. Okay, wonderful. Anything else, Tony, before we go?
No, I think that's it. The only thing I was going to add is, in addition to everything Jim talked about, there's 3 or 4 other organizations I've been talking to recently as well who are initially interested. So there's a lot of opportunity for impact. So it's definitely not a one and done. We've got a lot to move forward on.
Yeah, and you know, we're seeing continued support, reblogging, retweeting blog posts from community members by the Visual Studio team, by the MS Dev team, and things like that. There's you know, some talk about it on Channel 9 and whatnot. So there's a lot of momentum for the project. It's feeling like it's a pretty exciting time, exciting days ahead.
Yep.
Wonderful. Okay, we're going to keep it short this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, tuning in, getting a couple of updates. Do invite you to check out the links. I'll add them to the notes below if you're watching this later on. And we'll talk to you either next week or the week after on the next community stand-up for Humanitarian Toolbox.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.